Happy Friday, everybody. It's 4 o'clock, and that means I'm about 4 hours late for a drink. I got to tell you all, I've been really anxious all day for this because this is absolutely one of my favorite drinks right now. It's a more complex drink. It uses pretty much all the skills we've kind of been building up to. It's something that you won't find anywhere, I guarantee it. And so with that, let's kind of get going. But before we do that, I just got to show you guys something. It's killing me. So my oldest daughter, I don't know, last year went to some thrift store or something like that. And she bought like this old record player, right? And she's found all of our old records. And so we've got this whole box full of these old albums. check out some of them. Oh yeah, a little Saturday Night Fever. Yeah. You guys will love this one. Yeah. See, I also have my brothers and sisters albums as well. So that belongs to them. You want to see my albums? Yeah, that was one of my albums. This is like the double album where they got all the cool stuff in there. Anyway, I thought that was super cool. Okay, but let's get back to drinking. So this drink is super good. You guys need to make this and then give me ideas for what I should call this drink. So I want to go into a little bit of history about this drink and how it came about and how I found it in the first place anyway. So for Christmas this year, my youngest daughter bought me a Groupon for a bartending class, right? Super awesome. So I went to this bartending class. I was super stoked to go, only to find out it was kind of like bartending 101. I was figuring I was going to learn how to like spin shakers or pick up something new or learn some like tip, right? But no, it was like make drinks. Like I think one of the drinks they made was a margarita and another one was like a mule, and it was just kind of very common pedestrian stuff. But I was talking to the bartender, and he kind of picked up on the fact that I was kind of bored, and he's like, hey, let me make you something different, right? So he made a drink, and I'm watching him make this drink. He goes, here, try this. I tried it, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. Like, I've never had anything like it. He's like, yeah, neither have I. And I look at him, I'm like, well, what do you call it? He's like, I have no clue what to call it. And so I'm looking at him like, well, you got to give it a name. He's like, well, I call it the Kevin. I'm like, well, why? He's like, I don't know. I couldn't think of a name for it. So I got the recipe from him. There were some things I didn't like about it that I changed a little bit. And I think it's way better, my version, right? And it's one of the drinks that we'll make that uses Campari. Campari is not good. It's not. It's super bitter. Italians swear by it. They think like Campari and soda water, orange juice is like the bomb. It's not that great, but it's got some really cool history. Like Campari, there's really no substitute for it. It was created around like 1860 by Gaspar Campari. Today, it's still produced by the family. The family's name is, I've actually got it written down someplace so I wouldn't forget it. Gruppo Campari is the kind of distiller. It's got a really unique taste. There's only 2 known ingredients in Campari, alcohol and water. The rest are this secret recipe. It's supposed to be infused with bitter herbs, aromatics, some fruits. You can try it yourself. In fact, I highly suggest if for any alcohol that you use in a drink, you should try it yourself and just see what it tastes like. So here's Narwhal, a little Narwhal shot glass. I want to try a drink. Oh, that's too much. Oh, God. This is Campari. That's not good. But it's featured in this drink. And it works out well because of all the other ingredients. So the original recipe called for something called Cynar, which is a very bitter liquor. It's actually based on artichokes. It doesn't taste a lot like artichoke because it's so bitter, but it's pretty freaking nasty. A buddy of mine today actually sent me a recipe that I was totally surprised called for Cynar, and I'm like, was a little blown away. So I didn't want that. I wanted to take that out. I also wanted to add something else to it to make it taste a little bit more unique. So I added mint leaves to it. So what we're going to make is the Unnamed Drink. I just call it the Kevin right now because I can't think of anything better. I'm looking for ideas for names, right? And it is going to be Campari. Okay, this magical Italian elixir that's been around forever. It is going to be freshly squeezed lemon juice, right? And I got questions from some of you last week, like what juicer. This is what I use. Like it is a cheapo little juicer. Nothing special there. Some OJ. Simple syrup, right? We learned how to make this. Equal parts of just white granulated sugar and water. And this is just regular old simple syrup. It's not my Demerara syrup or anything like that. And bourbon. I'm super stoked. I've been talking about this for a while. This Eagle Rare bourbon. This is, for the last couple of years, has always been like in the top 5 bourbons under $30 consistently. And I've never tried it. Well, there we go. Got to try it. Oh man, it smells good. So this is what I'm going to use today, and I'm super stoked to try it, but I'm even more stoked to just have a little drinky here. Cheers. Oh wow, that is a good bourbon. This is a bourbon. I can see why it gets on the top 5 lists all the time. Super good, super mellow. Has that sweet vanilla taste, a little bit of caramel, and the tail is super good. It's a little hot, but boy, it's tasty. This is really good. This is going to be one of my go-to bourbons, I can tell already. One thing about this drink, and I think I talked about this in the very first week when we were making the old fashions, about muddling. So tools you'll need: muddler, of course your jigger, and a shaker. These were our tools. When you have any type of, oh, I forgot, mint. See, actual real fresh mint. That's one of the other ingredients. If you are making a drink with any kind of leafy stuff, so mint, basil, that kind of stuff, you need to be careful how you muddle it. And so I got this clear glass to kind of show you what I'm going to be doing here. And here's the mint leaf. Here's my muddler. You may actually want to use the blunt end of this so you don't totally bastardize the mint. But I actually like this end because it helps me do what I need to do. What you don't want to tear the leaf. In general, if you tear the leaf, the chlorophyll from the leaf is going to get in the drink, and it can taste, it can sour the drink a little bit. You may or may not notice it depending on how much booze you have in there. But it can sour the drink. And so you want to bruise the leaf, but you don't want to tear the leaf. So it's kind of, that's a little tough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my muddler here and I'm just going to kind of twist it around. And you can't really hear it, but you can kind of hear it go squish, 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 squish. And I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not. But you can kind of see it's kind of dimpling a little bit. It's bruising. And you can smell it, and you can definitely smell it. You can smell it. And you can definitely smell the mint coming out of there. Let's see if it, there you go. This might be a little, see how it's all speckled there? Maybe you can't see that. If I put my hand behind it. See where you're bruising it? That's what you want to do with this stuff. When you shake it, you have to be careful when you shake it too, because you don't want to kill it. So that's kind of a general note about dealing with basil, mint, thyme, that kind of stuff, leafy stuff when you're making these drinks. Another kind of interesting note about Campari, this is the thing that actually started the whole digestif and aperitif thing. It's supposed to have these digestive properties where you have like a drink before dinner and it helps to digest red meat. I don't know about that. What I would say though is have 2 bourbons before every meal. And not only will it help with any of the digestion, but you won't care so much about eating anyway, and you'll probably lose weight. So it's a good diet tip. So let's go ahead and make this thing. You ready? I'm ready. One more thing. If you don't like Campari, I've chosen Campari. Like, it's not good by itself in my opinion, but it's super bitter and it fits the rest of the flavors super well. Some possible substitutes for Campari. You could use Cynar, but that's not really like, there aren't any real direct substitutes for Campari, but things that are close that I've tried. I have tried Aperitivo. I've tried Luxardo Bitter. I have tried Tempus Fugit Classico. Those are things that are kind of similar, but for this, just stick with Campari. It's really not that expensive. I think it's like $18 a bottle. And the cool thing about it is you don't use much of it at any one time, and so you'll have it around for a long time. So let's make this bad boy. So this is the Steve's version of the Unnamed Drink. I will say this. I'm super happy, super excited you're here and watching. Super excited to make this drink. I've been making this drink for about 6 weeks, 7 weeks now. Every single person I've made the drink for, or every single person I've taught how to make this drink, loves this drink. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does not like this drink. So if you don't like it, you suck. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull off. Let's see, I got 4. Let's pull off 5 of these leaves in there. I'll use that muddled one, so it'll be super minty. You may not want to use so much mint. It's kind of up to you. I like the minty flavor. You've got the Campari, which is super bitter. You've got the lemon, which is bitter. You've got the OJ, the orange juice, which is sweet. You've got the simple syrup, which is sweet. The bourbon typically is sweeter, right? And so I really like the mint. I like a lot of mint because it cuts through a lot of that and it brings it together. Okay, so I'm being super careful. I'm muddling my mint. Mint is muddled. Okay, now the important part, ingredients. Simple syrup. Okay, you're going to use a half an ounce, just a half an ounce of this. Okay. Whoops, I said a half an ounce and I poured too much. There we go, half ounce of simple syrup. All the other ingredients, for the most part, are a single part, except the booze. I up the booze quotient, right? So half of an ounce of simple syrup, 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. If you are a lazy ass, you can use this stuff. It's not bad. But like I said, I highly recommend freshly squeezed stuff. It's easy to do. Get a cheapo little squeezer and you're fine. So we've had our simple syrup. We've had our lemon juice. We're going to add 1 ounce of orange juice. Okay. We're going to add 1 ounce of Campari. Okay. And we are going to add 1.5 ounces of bourbon. Okay. I use 1.5 ounces of bourbon. Try it out. You may want to up it to 2 ounces. Occasionally, like I said, I never make anything with less than 2 ounces of booze. You've got 1 ounce of booze in the Campari. You've got 1.5 ounces in the bourbon. I do make these with 2 ounces of bourbon as well. For those who have to go out and run them 10 miles afterwards, maybe use 1 ounce of bourbon. But I'm going to use 1.5 ounces. Maybe a little bit more than 1.5 ounces. Okay, so let me make sure I got everything. We got our bourbon. We got a Campari. We got our simple syrup. We got our OJ. We got our freshly squeezed lemon juice. We got our muddled mint. It kind of looks, you can't even see it. Now we're going to put it in the shaker. It's already in the shaker. I'm going to add ice to the shaker. And I add plenty of ice to these. All right? Just load that bad boy up. Because like I said, I like when I'm shaking drinks, I like these things cold. I like them super tasty like that. Okay? Now we're going to shake. Now with this, you notice I'm not going to town like I did the other two shaking drinks because we don't want to tear the leaf. So it's just kind of a gentle shake. But you got enough ice in there, you see. Still got that nice coldness. But don't shake the heck out of these because, like I said, you don't want to upset the leaves too much. You don't want to rip them up and get a bunch of chlorophyll in there. It's just, like I said, it can kind of ruin the taste. I'm going to pour this bad boy out. Cheers. Holy crap. That's amazing. See, the funny part about this drink is you look at these components, right? I mean, they're all over the place, right? I've got sweet, I've got bitter, I've got sour, I've got mint, right? So many different flavors that you don't think it'll work well together, but this drink is freaking amazing. For those of you that know Jeff Christopher, my buddy Jeff Christopher, I taught him how to make the drink. He makes them 2 at a time and just drinks them in a big tumbler. Like, these are freaking nuts. So, if you made this, you have to let me know what you think I should name it. Like, let's come up with a name. Jeff said he should call it the Hagee. I don't really want to name it after myself. I think we should come up with a better name for it. Patty came up with a name. Patty Moriarty came up with a name. I can't remember what it was, but it was actually pretty good. It was like the bitter spring solstice or something like that, which actually was a decent name, but a little bit too much. I want to call it something other than the Kevin, because that's what I call it right now, is the Kevin. I think we should come up with a different name. Oh man, this is really good. Oh, this is really good. Okay. Who wants to see me make one more? I'm going to make one more of these, just in case you didn't get it. The mint is actually okay. The minty flavor will be more than enough for 2 drinks. So if you weren't paying attention before, pay attention this time. Oh man. So we're going to use let's see, let's start with the simple syrup. 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Okay. 1 ounce of lemon juice. Oh man, I actually wasn't planning on making 2. I was just going to make 1. So now I do have to go to the bottle stuff, which is going to be weird. I'm going to have freshly squeezed stuff in this stuff. But I'll live. I'm doing this for you guys. Okay, got 1 ounce of lemon juice. 1 ounce of orange juice. 1 ounce of Campari. And 1.5 ounces of bourbon. This is one of those drinks where you don't really have to use a good bourbon because it's got so many different flavors, but use like a drinkable bourbon. A bad bourbon will ruin any drink, guaranteed. And a rye, I think, would not work in this drink. You want something that's a little bit sweeter. I think the rye would add an interesting spice to the drink, but it might clash with the mint a little bit, so I'm not sure it'd be good. But why change something that's not broken? Shaker, top, shake. Remember, we've got leaves in here. We don't want to tear the leaves. So you need to be careful, kind of a slow shake. Oh my God, that's like, oh, That is goodness in a glass right there. Look at that. I hope some of you are actually making this along with me because this is freaking amazing. At any rate, hope you guys learned something about Campari. It tastes nasty, I think, but it has some really good uses in drinks. And this is one of the drinks that I think it works super well in. The amount of flavors that are in this drink, you think it's too much weirdness going on, but the end result is perfect. I mean, this drink is awesome. If for some reason this is a little too boozy for you, you might want to bounce back the bourbon a little bit and do one shot. And then the ratios are super simple. It's 1 ounce for everything except for the simple syrup, only half an ounce. But if you do that, don't tell me because I'm going to call you a big wussy. Use at least 1.5 ounces of bourbon, I think, in this drink, and it makes it perfect. In fact, you probably want a little bit of that bourbony flavor to counteract a lot of the other sweetness and stuff that's going on in here. My goodness, this is good. So, this is the drink with no name. Let me know how you like it. I think you're going to love it. Let me know a good name for it because I don't want to call it the Kevin. But that's what I'm calling it right now. Because I can't think of a freaking good name for it yet. And I don't want to call it the Hagee or the Hegenderfer because that seems kind of pretentious. Not that I'm not vain, because I am. But this is one of the best drinks I've probably had in forever. I think you guys are going to love it. Makes a perfect spring and summer drink. Enjoy. Next week will be interesting. I've actually asked Molly to maybe make a tequila drink because I'm not a tequila drinker. My wife, tequila drinker. So maybe she will do a guest appearance next week, which will be fun. For those of you that haven't met my wife, you're going to meet Molly. For those of you that have, you love her more than me anyway. So, but maybe we can get Molly to do something next week. I've got a couple other ideas. I want to teach you guys at some point how to make a gin gimlet, and I've got a couple variants of that, which are amazing. Those are really good drinks in the spring and summer when it gets warmer. There's a couple morning drinks, like a revolver, that I want to show you guys how to make. We could make my hangover drink, which is a suffering bastard, which is a good drink as well. There's a whole ton of drinks that we may do next week. But as always, I'll post what you need to make those midweek. Hopefully we can get Molly to help us out. We'll do a tequila drink. It could be fun for those of you that like tequila. If nothing else, if you like tequila, go back to the old-fashioned recipe. Remember, we talked about replacing the bourbon with tequila. It is amazing. Follow the exact same recipe from a few weeks ago and just use tequila. It's awesome. I'm rambling because I'm going to drink more. So I hope you guys have a great Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, shelter in place, do smart things. We'll get through this. And the best thing about this stuff that I'm doing on Fridays is this is like hand sanitizer for the insides. Really, it is. It's great, and I think it keeps you healthy. There you go. So take care, guys, and I will see you guys next week.